everybody, Carmen here with Quality Sewing, and for this week's How Do I, we are going to talk about how you embroider cute things for all different occasions. So today we are going to embroider this adorable little ghost. OESD makes tons of beautiful embroidery designs, and what's great about the OESD designs is you can buy them on USBs, or you can also buy them via digital download. At Quality Sewing, if you come into any one of our store locations, you can digital download any designs that you want, and we can put them straight onto a USB for you, which is pretty handy. And then of course on our website we also sell quite a few of the different OESD designs that you can digitally, we will email it to you and put it into your account for you. So pretty awesome. So this is a brand new design collection. It is by OESD, and you can see it right down here. It's called Holiday Ghosts by Cynthia Fenette, and hopefully I'm not mispronouncing her last name. But what is so cute about these is there's all these different ghosts, and they have all different holiday themes. So my team here, we just thought this was super fun, right? There's a St. Patrick ghost, there's a Valentine ghost, which is what we're gonna work on today. There's a Christmas ghost. I love the one holding the turkey, but what a great housewarming present to make somebody a couple of different towels. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we use blanks, basically, things that are pre-constructed that we can embroider on because they make great gifts, great housewarming gifts, or sometimes if you're just like, hey, you know what, I want to add a little holiday flair to my house. What a fun way. This is fast, this is easy, and all of the OESD designs are beautifully digitized. So we have all the different, here, I'll flip you one more so you can sort of see some of the other designs there. There's the other cute ones. See, there's like, obviously there's one for Halloween, there's a bunny, all sorts of cute different ghosts in this one collection. So the first thing that we're going to do to get ready to embroider on a blank is we need to get our hoop and our stabilizer ready. What's great about embroidering on a simple cotton towel is you only need one type of stabilizer. So the stabilizer I'm using today is called Stable Stick. We can put it there so you can see it maybe from the camera. Stable Stick. So Stable Stick, and I'm going to show it here. Stable Stick is, it has paper on top, and then it's sticky, and then it's a tearaway. So we are going to hoop it, and whenever I'm hooping this stabilizer, the very first thing I want to make sure I'm doing is that I'm hooping it the right way. And now because I'm on camera, it will be hard to pull it apart, but I always test it and make sure that the sticky side is going to be the right place, because I have totally done this before and hooped it upside down. And when I've hooped it upside down, guess what happens? The sticky sticks to the bottom of my sewing machine instead of to the fabric, which doesn't really work out. So I always want to test that and make sure that I'm hooping my stabilizer properly. So what we're going to do is I'm just using my 5x7 embroidery hoop. Most machines come with a lot of different sizes. Today I'm embroidering on the Brothers Stellaire, which is a beautiful machine, and it comes with some really large hoops. But oftentimes if you want to sort of be more careful with how much stabilizer you're using, you want to use a hoop that is only as big as you need for your design, because then you're going to use less stabilizer, particularly in a case like this where we are going to hoop this whole piece of Stable Stick. So I'm just going to set this down here and get it hooped in. And you just want the stabilizer to be just a little bit bigger than your hoop area. You're going to snap it in like that. And then of course you're going to tighten your hoop up because you don't want it to pop out. And then since this is a sticky stabilizer, I'm going to move these papers here from underneath. And because this is a sticky stabilizer, we are going to use this great tool here, and this tool is a scoring tool by OESD, and so I'm just going to score this stabilizer, because what I need to do is pick up just the paper here to peel it apart. And do you see how easy that was with this little point? So historically, before this tool existed, it's called the Perfect Score tool, I would use scissors and like slash through here, and guess what would happen sometimes? I would cut all the way through both layers. I would cut through the stabilizer and I would cut through the paper top. But we don't want to do that. We just want to peel away all of the paper top, and then when you need to like grab, you can use the little tool to help pull up the edge for you. And you're just gonna pull this paper off all the way around because we need to make a nice sticky, the sticky spot here to lay in our design. So there we go. This is good enough for today. We're going to pull that apart. And then, of course, you're going to want a garbage can because otherwise your sewing room looks like mine where I just start throwing stuff on the floor like thread and stuff. So have a garbage can handy so you can throw away all those little bits. Okay, so now we are going to get our towel. So I am using, OESD makes a lot of different blanks, and they have these great towels. They're really great, you know, they could be great in your bathroom, they could be great in a kitchen. Like I said, they can make a great gift. And so what I did with the towels, I took it out of the package and I did iron it because it already had a whole bunch of creases on it from being in the package. So the first thing I'm gonna do is iron it. And I ironed it in half because I want this embroidery design. I'm using my ironing as a way to mark it, so that way my embroidery design is centered. So then I am going to, the first thing I want to make sure is that I am gonna, which way my hoop is going to go on my machine, so that way I don't put it on upside down. As you can tell, I've pretty much done all of those things, so when you do them at home, don't worry, we've all done them. We all rush and do things the wrong way. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to, I actually want to flip this inside out. So the wrong sides are up for a minute because I'm going to use this crease in the center here to line it up on my hoop here, right to where my hoop has a mark here and a hash mark here. And because this is the half mark that I've already ironed, I can now lay this one side down and then bring it over, which is why I wanted it wrong sides, because now my little crease mark here is right down the center and it's lined up on my hoop. So now I know that I have a great center spot. Okay, so now we are going to go over to the machine and we're going to get a design and we're going to do a little embroidery here, because the fun thing about these little ghosts is it also has applique. So I'm going to slide my hoop on here and get that part ready. And I'm just going to lay it down. And of course, when you have fabric coming out the back, you want to make sure that you're not, you know, that the fabric's not slid under your hoop or anything. You just want to lay it all down. But that sticky stabilizer is holding it. And then we're going to go over here to my screen. And I'm going to go to embroidery and select. I put all of the different embroidery designs in that collection on my USB stick. And so you can see all of the different cute ones. So let's say we want to grab this guy right here. I'm going to go to set and I'm going to edit it. I know that I want to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to shrink him up. And then I'm going to say, okay, now I could center him in this machine if I wanted to center it. But I think I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to go to, and I could have rotated it. I can do a lot of different things. You could add lettering if you wanted to. You know, if maybe you wanted to say boo or happy Valentine's Day or whatever. You can do all sorts of great editing on the machine, which is so great. But I'm just going to go to embroidery. And then I'm going to go figure out where my center point is, because this is what I'm going to see on the machine here. I'm going to turn on this machine's laser. And I can see where my center line is here. Oh, there's the, sorry. I can see where my center line is here. And this machine actually has a laser, which you can't quite see just because of the way our cameras are, which is okay. But this machine has a little red laser that's showing me where the middle position of the design is. And so that way I can make sure it's lined up on my little crease mark. So then I'm going to just move this around. I'm going to see, okay, well, that's the bottom of my design. That's the top of my design. I can see where both of the sides are. And there's the center, and I'm like, I think that looks pretty good. Oh, look, great. She got the laser up here. So you can see how great that is. See, if I turn it off, then there's no laser, or you can turn it back on. So when it's on here, you can just see that beautiful little red dot, and it's helpful to see where that needle point is without you having to touch your hand wheel. Okay, so we are good to go. I'm going to say okay, and we are going to just start some embroidery here. Because the first thing, if we flip over so I can show you the screen again, the first thing that this guy has here is it's doing the outline of the ghost, because it wants us to put a little applique in there, so that way on this dark fabric my ghost is white. And so I'm just going to show you how the applique part works here. Okay, that color is done. And then as it moves forward here, it is going to tell me to, because when I can always see here, oh, this is actually a good thing to show you quickly. One of the things that OESD does a great job with is that they put all of the different instructions for how to do the different steps in their PDF. So like this actually shows you all of the different instructions for doing applique. And it shows you right away that it's like, hey, put the fabric in, right? Then it's going to do the outline, and then it does the outline around the design. So now I'm going to lay my white fabric on here. And I think I'm going to flip back this way so you can see it. You can put the fabric on here. I'm going to lower, and now it's going to do the outline around the whole shape, so that way we can cut out around that before it does its finishing edge. And it's going to be fast, so we're going to just hold tight here and let it go. This is when you can get yourself a cup of coffee or something. But applique designs are super fun and a great way to sort of expand what you're doing in embroidery. Okay, so now that is done. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take it out. I'm going to take my hoop off my machine, and I'm going to come back over here to this other camera so you can see a little bit better. And then all I'm going to do is I'm using a really nice duckbill scissor here, and I am going to trim around all the way around those lines. And what's great about this is we didn't have to pre-cut out the shape. Now, all of the OESD applique designs do come with the templates. If you had wanted to pre-cut out the shapes, or maybe you had a scan and cut and you wanted to just scan the size and cut it out on your fabric ahead of time so you wouldn't have to do this step, you could do that. I tend to just use my duckbills because they do such a great job of getting around all the little bits of fabric and trimming it up there, so that way then the machine is going to go and do the thick stitching around it. So I trim it there, and maybe, I might have trimmed it. You could trim it a little closer, whatever you choose, but the duckbill scissor really helps, which is why you have the big bill right here, because it helps get closer to that fabric without actually cutting your stitch, if that makes sense. Okay, so then we're gonna go put this back on the machine. And then I'm going to just forward a color for the purpose of this video. It was gonna add some shadowing, but we're going to just forward onto the next color so you can see how the outline comes together. So I'm gonna lower this, and now it's going to do the whole outline of the ghost, which is really fun. So away it goes. It's going to go through now, and it's going to put the ghost eyes on and all of that good stuff. And of course, on our machine, you can see exactly what it's going to be doing, because it shows you right there that it's going to do that full outline. So it's going to put the eyes, it's going to put the little antennas on, and then it's also going to do that satin stitch all the way around our applique. Now, was that not the easiest way to do applique? So easy. So let me just show you a couple of other things that we have here while it's going. So I'm going to slide this way so you can see me. Oh, maybe this way. Cameras. Okay, look there, if I find the right camera. Okay, so this is the joy of when you're trying to do things on the fly, right? So these are also the mini duckbill scissors. So if you thought the first duckbill I was using was maybe too big, it's nice sometimes to have a small pair or a small pair to take to class. And I love the Tula Pink duckbills because of the cute iridescent color, and they're very high quality. So the other thing I wanted to show you is the other types of blanks. OESD has a lot of different blanks, and blanks can be a really fun way to make a quick gift, and a quick gift for any holiday, right? because if you just want to add a little holiday flair, sometimes you don't want to make a huge project, you just want to do something quick that you can do tonight and use tomorrow, or that you can give as a gift tomorrow, or maybe you bring it for a school teacher, whatever that is. So they have, I'm going to bring all these things this way, they have all sorts of different blanks. So they've got lots of different colors of the towels. So the towels are what I've been using. They've got lots of different colors of that. And then they also have pillow blanks. And so like this is a pillow form, not a form, I guess it's the cover, but they have these great pillow blanks like this. And with all of their blanks, like the pillow blanks, look, it's totally flat. So you can iron it, embroider on it, and then you're just going to flip it around, sew it, the zipper's in, and now you have a cute little pillow with some sort of fun holiday thing, or maybe not even holiday, but something fun and cute on it. And they make the pillow cases in lots of different colors. And then, of course, they also have greeting cards. And then I don't think I grabbed it, but they also have, oh, here it is. This is an apron, actually. They also have aprons. They have garden flags, which might actually be what that one is. Yep, a garden flag. So they have all sorts of different types of blanks that you can use depending on what it is you want to make, that makes putting a quick embroidery project together super fast, and it looks super professional and very fun. So just sort of good to know that all of these things exist. You can see here our little ghost is busting around there. So it's going to go through and do the whole thing here. And then when we are totally done, I'm going to grab this guy here. In fact, maybe I'll put it over here to this camera as I block it. Sorry, I'm going to get out of the way. Right here. Then when it is all done, and maybe what I'm going to do is I'll stop the machine because I don't know if it's loud over me here. When it is all done here, you can see that everything has been stitched out. And on this particular one, I actually didn't put applique in because it's already on white, but you can see why on the dark color, you would want to use the applique step. But the reason why I mention that is on any of these embroidery designs, you get to pick sort of how you want to make it. You get to pick your colors, you get to pick your fabric. You could do something wild to make all of your ghosts hot pink if you wanted. That's the beauty of all of this sewing and crafting. We get to do what we want and how we want it and make it totally our own, which is why it is so fun. But then how we just take this guy off is you're just gonna tear away underneath there with that sticky stabilizer. So you're just gonna tear him off here, tear away the little bits of stabilizer there, because it is just a tear away stabilizer. And you can tell that I have to go backwards in the camera, sorry about that. It's just a tear away stabilizer. You would cut your little jump stitches, and then I'm just gonna flip this around here, and voila, look at this cute little towel all ready to go. And I mean, who doesn't want a little ghostly Starbucks drinking, maybe? It sort of looks like maybe a Starbucks cup. A little cup there for the holidays of any time. So hopefully this was interesting to you and you learned a couple tips around how to hoop a towel, how to use sticky stabilizer, how to maybe do some applique, and maybe a couple of fun ideas of easy and quick ways for you to make holiday inspired projects with blanks. Happy sewing, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 10 a.m.